here you are running after this guy again that you guys have run after for 2 times a year. You get to see him once this year, but what are your thoughts as you're doing that?
It's kind of like the same. It's so weird seeing him in a new uniform, but he's the same guy. Obviously, he's a well-established quarterback. He's been great in this league for a long time. So it's a lot of respect from our end of him and who he is, and they have a pretty good team. So
I've often said that the guys who are most capable of being put in no man's land when you face him is linebackers. Can you describe what that's like when you're not sure he's rolling out there, you're not sure if he's going to pass, he's going to run, he does his pump fakes?
Yeah.
What goes through your mind when you're trying to figure out what in the world he's going to do?
For us, it's really just trying to make sure you plaster, find the man nearest to you, and wait for him to actually cross the line before you try to go and chase after him. But he's done a great job of actually getting out the pocket, throwing balls all over the place, so it's been pretty dope.
How about just the defense in general? You guys are #1 in the league in terms of fewest yards allowed after 2 games. I think you're tied for 3rd in fewest points allowed. I know that's something you guys take a lot of pride in.
For sure. Obviously, we pride ourselves on being the best from our linebacker group, but also from our defense. We preach swarming to the ball and all 11 getting there, so it's just a part of who we are, our DNA.
And then I suppose what happened on Sunday is kind of validation for what you guys knew you are, as opposed to what happened in Chicago. You guys have to, I know you can't get happy with yourselves, but you have to be happy with the way things worked out on Sunday.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, obviously, you look back at the Chicago game, like we were dominating for a good portion of that game, and some of the stuff that hurt us was just the penalties and, letting them make plays outside the pocket. Kind of the same thing even with this game. The only time where they were able to get going is when they got some explosive Geno running out the pocket and stuff. So we know kind of what the deal is and what it's going to take for us to be successful as a defense.
And how about just being on national TV? You guys don't mind that either when you know that that's the one game that everybody in the country's watching that night?
For sure. I mean, every week, when you're watching all the 31 teams, you know that somebody's going to see that film. So for us, being able to get in that headlight is kind of always like what we're ready for.
Hey, thanks.
No problem.
Like this, or is this the first time?
Why you going down? You know what I mean? So it's just
It's my first time, I think. Yeah. How does he relate that to you? Like, does he have stories? Is that something that he kind of leans on as he kind of develops this?
Yeah, I mean, if we're, watching film on a 2-minute drill or something like that, like you'll, just give us a lot of good tips and indicators, whether it's about like little things like the shot clock or telling the huddle this or that, getting up to the ball. So he's just got a lot of good, reminders and things because he's played the position. He's been in the heat of battle and has experienced it for 11 years. And so for him to come in, not just knowing the the ESPN analyst side of things, but actually be like he's played the position. And so it's been pretty sweet.
He was saying that he is still kind of trying to figure out his coaching style because he hasn't done it before. Have you seen that? Like, is it him kind of like as he goes along, like these are things that work, these are things that don't work?
Yeah, I think at first he came in sort of just with an open mind, like, hey, what does Trey do well, and Nate at the time. And, I'm going to sort of cater to how they need to be coached and everything. I'm not just going to come in and do it my way or the highway. He's definitely adapted. And then over time, like, now with Jimmy being here, like he's heard out Jimmy. What is Jimmy like? Well, like Jimmy's played for a while, so like he's open to questions and things like that. But there's also times where he's like, man, like this is what we expect out of the quarterbacks here as a 49er, and we got to do it this way or that way. And so he holds a standard too. So he's been great, I think, for his first time. So thanks, bro. Yep.
At this point, have you embraced the term Mr. Irrelevant and run and get to the ball?
I mean, yeah, I don't really think about it as much anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I think when I first got drafted, it was all fun and games and stuff like, man, I'm Mr. Irrelevant on the last draft pick. But, being here, all the guys have taken me in and I've competed and I feel like I'm just another guy. So I don't really look at it more than that.
In the position you're in right now, how do you feel about everything? It's moving really quickly, I would imagine, from your perspective.
Yeah, honestly, since, we found out what the roster was and everything, my whole goal and mindset has been, I got to be ready. And, one snap away each time, being a 3rd string to a backup, now a backup to starter. I'm 1 snap away, and that's always been my mindset in terms of being ready. The past 2 weeks, I've game planned and prepped as if I was a starter, and so nothing is going to change for me in terms of that. Going out and getting more reps and things like that would be good, but other than that, man, that's what my mindset's going to continue to be.
You got plenty of reps in the Big 12. You've played a lot of football over the years, but how does the NFL just differ than high-level college football?
Yeah, I think I'm still, learning and growing in that sense. I don't have everything figured out in terms of, the game speed and just the different defensive schemes. Playing in the Big 12, obviously, you know, it's an air raid type conference, so we saw a lot of crazy schemes and whatnot. But in the NFL, it's, man, whoever's biggest and fastest, we're going to try to get, you know, in a great matchup situation and roll from there. So learning those kinds of things and understanding that, man, everybody's good at every single position. There's not really a weak link.
Has Kyle had a conversation with you just about this position and where you stand and about being ready? Has it been emphasized any more so now than maybe before?
I mean, the day after the game, you know, watching the film in the quarterback room with Coach Shanahan, Coach Greasy, and all the quarterbacks, or really just Jimmy and I, he told me at the end, he's like, man, are you ready? You know, obviously you got to be ready. One snap away and all that kind of thing. So it's definitely been said. I know that. Coach Greasy told me the same thing. Like, you got to be ready. Even after the game last Sunday, Mr. Lynch told me as well, you got to be ready. So it's been said. It's clear, and I know what my role is, and nothing changes. You know, in terms of like my mindset. Like, I've always prepared like I'm the starter. So yeah, I just got to be ready.
Everything kind of moved, as mentioned, really quickly. Well, how would you describe kind of the morale of this team right now, and just, you know, going from, all right, Trey's our guy, to now Jimmy, to you at any point? Like, how would you describe this, the team chemistry and everything?
I think the cool thing is, like, this team has a lot of veterans, a lot of experience, so it's not like, you know, we got a bunch of young guys that we have to, you know, steward towards Jimmy now, and okay, he's the guy. Like, there's a bunch of vets that have been here, and so they all get it. Like, man, Jimmy's been here, he's proved himself. They believe in him. We're gonna roll with him, and everyone loves him. Like, he's a big team guy, you know. And so even when he got announced that he's coming back, like, everyone was like, man, that's awesome. We get to have Jimmy in the locker room still. So nothing changes in that regard. Trey's done a great job. He was the leader. He was the guy. It's sad what happened, but Jimmy's definitely, you know, ready for this moment, and all the guys got his back. So the cool part is, like, we have experience, and you know, nothing is weird or awkward or anything like that. We're ready to roll.
It's 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's mixed. It's a mixed bag. Prime time obviously is the best environment to play football in. And we talk about it all the time here. It's the only time that the rest of the league is watching. You know, you talk about everybody watching. You talk about everybody at home being able to watch the game. You're the only game on TV, but the reason why you're excited about it is because you get to show the whole league what you're about, and it's not about anybody else except for, you know, that. And prime time is an incredible atmosphere to do it. Mile High. I've never played a non-preseason game there, so I'm excited for my first time. I've heard, you know, it's one of the best environments in football, all the way back to when, you know, Kyle's dad was there and all that kind of stuff, and just juiced up. But the other side of the coin is it's kind of a logistical nightmare for, you know, the rest of your life. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Kyle told us that Steve Kerr was at practice or walkthrough. Did you happen to catch Steve Kerr? Or?
I just shook his hand. Okay. I'm a huge basketball fan. Always been a huge Steve Kerr fan, and I've gotten a couple instances to chat with him over the last few years in certain situations. And I mean, one of the greatest team sport champions probably in the history of America, right? He's got 9 at the highest level of his sport, and I mean, there's a lot of things to learn from, on top of just, you know, being an unbelievable human being and just an easy guy to be a fan of, for sure.
You saw George Kittle and Looney were at the WWE the other day, and you always talk about Bay Area Unite on Twitter. Are you close to any other guys specifically on other teams, and do you guys feel that Bay Area Unite?
I definitely do. I think I'm closer with more of the Sharks guys. I play golf with a couple of the Sharks guys, and we share a barber, you know, all that stuff, just from their proximity to us down here in the South Bay. And then any chance I get up to a Warriors and Giants game, and all those guys are, you know, you share kind of agencies with guys like that, or financial people, or whatever that is, and it's been pretty cool. You know, I think every city has a little bit of a, you know, a home draw to wherever they play, and everybody does. You know, I'm from Philadelphia, and I know how wrapped up everybody gets in all the sports teams over there. So it's been pretty fun to be able to watch, you know, historic franchises of the Bay Area, you know, have success while I've been here.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Kyle, how much do you enjoy playing in the primetime game? You got 2 in a row.
Oh, it's always fun. It always brings a little extra energy, especially being at Mile High Stadium. I mean, Sunday night I feel like is kind of the biggest primetime game of the week, so super stoked for that.
Steve Kerr was here at walkthrough. Did you get a chance to talk to him? I mean, I know he's kind of...
I did not. I knew he looked familiar. I definitely knew that. But no, I didn't get to talk to him, but that's cool he's here. I hope hope he's got some stuff that he shared with Kyle that maybe Kyle passes on to us.
Do you talk with any of the local Bay Area athletes? Just, I know you're in your season now, but do you have any
Yeah.
relationships with guys?
I mean, a little bit here and there. Sometimes we're at the same autograph signings and stuff, so like I've ran into Clay a few times, but everyone's very supportive of each other.
How would you describe just kind of the switch going? I know you're probably sick of talking about trade. I
Little
can
bit.
only imagine. So I won't bombard you with that.
Yeah.
But just like, sorry, just the switch, everything happening so quickly and having to adjust going from whether it's Trey to Jimmy to whoever at this point.
Yeah. Just want to start with, like, I don't want to downplay how much we feel for Trey. You know, that was our guy. We wish he was still out here and doing his thing. But it's been a good transition. And granted, it's been like 2 days. So for what we've experienced so far, it's been good and seamless. I mean, Jimmy's been our quarterback here. This is like his 6th year. So, you know, you would expect him to be familiar and know what we're doing.
And seeing him taking on a little bit of that backup role initially, but how have you been able to see, has he had the same mindset, you know, anticipating being a starter even though that wasn't the game plan from week 1?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a little different to see him in that backup role at first. But even then, I still remember the first practice that he was back here. You immediately noticed Jimmy, just his presence and his command, and that's something that now that he's back to being the starter, that he's flipped right back on and has done a really good job of so far.
You talk about his voice in the huddle. What is it, Jimmy's voice?
It's just clear, it's distinctive, he's a leader, it's commanding, you know, that's just kind of something that I've literally said for like 6 years ago. That was one of the first things I noticed about Jimmy when he steps into the huddle, is just how much he takes command of the huddle and is just really well at orchestrating that sort of stuff.
What about the line of scrimmage, his cadence? The first day he was back at practice, like we heard him from the other side of the fence.
100%.
The loudest quarterback that you
Yeah, you're definitely going to hear Jimmy's cadence, and that's a positive too, because we're going to be in a noisy environment, and regardless of how noisy it is out there, we're still going to be moving, we're still going to be using cadence. So, you know, to have Jimmy's voice echoing out there will help.
After the game, you said it felt like a return to 49er football. How would you describe 49er football?
I didn't say it was a return. I just said it felt like Niners football, which I really meant. It kind of felt the same. You know, we've been running the ball since the first snap this season. So that's what I was kind of getting at, is that not too much had really changed.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yeah.